Hi guys, back with another video, and I wanted to address any of you that might have struggling readers, because no doubt you were assigned to do reading. No matter what other curriculum schools are going to give you, I'm sure they're going to give you reading. And if reading is a struggle for your child this time, can be very hard. So I just want to give you a few tips as someone who has had two children that has struggled through reading, just to make the time go a little bit smoother. First, this is not the time to stick to curriculum as far as reading the assigned readings if the reading is too hard for your child. It's time to step it back to what I call easy plus one. And actually, I don't call it that. That was advice given to me, to choose books that are easy as far as the child can read all the words in them except maybe one or two words. And this is just to build up repetition and confidence in their reading. So it's okay if you have to step back. That time will be more valuable if you just take a step back and read books that they can read most of the words and let them have success. Now, repeating the same book again and again is fine too. It will also build confidence, and don't be afraid to, if they have a favorite book, to read it again and again and again. There is value in repetition. Now, you got your easy plus one books that you're reading with them, but I do want to go over a couple of things that you might see, and the only two that I can speak to are what I've experienced with my own children. My first child, I saw just seeing the word the over and over again and still not getting it, and I'll tell you my mistake there. I got frustrated. I thought he was being lazy. I thought he wasn't trying. Well, I got his eyes tested around second grade, and it turns out he was not converging or seeing those words correctly. So he had an eye issue called convergence insufficiency. He could not focus on the words. His eyes got tired the further along in the day, so reading at night was the worst. His spelling wasn't that great for the same reason, and he could see the same word over and over again and just have no visual memory of it. Those were all kind of the signs we were seeing. And when we got our eyes tested, sure enough, he had an eye issue. Now, the doctor's offices are not open to have that tested, but if you suspect it might be something like that, there is actually a website. It's called Amblyoply, Amblyoply, that you can read a little bit about what the troubles are, and they even claim to have a little test that you can take to see if that's an issue. And you can get online there and have vision therapy right on your computer. And I will tell you, vision therapy was worth so much more than trying to sit there and read with him for 15 minutes. There was so much more value and so much more improvement in his reading by working with strengthening his eyes and getting him to converge on the words. So it was well worth the time. And no, I was not doing the reading for the classroom, but yes, the value was there and his reading got better. So that was my first struggle child. My second struggle child just took longer to put everything together. We had to spend a lot more time on phonics, and we had to learn spelling rules that I had no idea even existed. But once we did that, that repetition of phonics and phonogram blends, and also going over the spelling rules that we learned, spelling improved and reading started to come together. He needed more time with the building blocks so that he could decode the words. My one child learned just by vision. He would see a word 2 or 3 times and learn it. That was super easy. This child needed to understand the building blocks of language before he can put reading together. And so again, this is a child where picking an easy plus one, such as, I don't know if you can see that, Elephants Cannot Dance by Mo Williams. He loves Mo. And these just don't have a lot of overwhelming words on the page. He repeats words a lot. There's usually a new word, which is great to introduce. He enjoys the books. So that was a great place to start for him as well. But what we did after we read our short little easy book to do reading time, we have a couple other things that we do that, again, add more value than just continuing to read and read and read. We use a program called Spell to Write and Read, and it has phonogram cards. So we are learning by just over and over testing on the word parts. So he knows this as is the of her. And when we get to a spelling test and we're practicing father, it ends with the of her. So he knows we go over and over and over again. And then he has the building blocks to not only decode for reading, but he has the building blocks to actually sound things out and spell them. Another thing we have really found valuable is breaking up syllables and also talking about lazy syllables. It's actually called the schwa, where the sound is just like for wagon, we don't say wagon. We don't say o, we say and just learning that some vowels can be lazy. Memorize those vowels when you're spelling. So all of those, breaking up syllables, breaking up words, learning spelling rules, and I'll give you an example of a spelling rule we had this week. C says, oh, I can't get it. The C says because E, I, or Y. C always says before E, I, or Y. I never even knew that rule. But that helps him both in spelling and decoding, knowing not to do the hard C sound and do the soft C sound. And once all those little rules are broken up, the reading will come. And I just want to encourage you that for you too is that the pieces will all come together. It's just some readers just take a little more time. Everybody learns a little more different than everybody else. And reading is just kind of one of those things where you just kind of have to figure it out why the child's struggling. But I stress again, give them the benefit of a doubt that they are trying their hardest. All right, so now what I use, the spell to write and read, I actually wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of a complicated system, and they don't do anything fun and kid-like on the flashcards. But we've been using it for so long, I've stuck with it. There is another one that if you're looking for those phonogram type of cards that you can go over and over again with your struggling reader, it's called All About Reading, and it uses a very similar approach, a little more user-friendly. And I will attach all of these recommendations below my video so that you can go to these sites and check them out for yourself. My final suggestion for your struggling readers, and this can be, not do any of the other ones if you don't want to add anything else to your day, is to do your Easy Plus One reading. And then if you want to continue to work on reading, go to a website called Reading Horizons. They are giving $10 for the first month right now. And then there's a package you can buy if you like it. And it really step by step breaks up those words for your kids. They might not like it at first, feel like this is too easy, but the kid will take a test, and it will place that child in where they're supposed to be and very, very slowly build those phonogram skills so that very solid building blocks for encoding and decoding. And both of these things feel like, are we really helping with reading? But let me just tell you, yes. Yes, when you're doing those things, even though you're not sitting and reading a book, all of those things are helping your child to be able to read a little better. All right, guys, I hope that is helpful. Please message me if you have any particular questions that maybe I can help with for your reading. And I hope that time becomes much more enjoyable for you and your struggling reader. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.